Hey, it's the Rebel Yankee Girl. We're going to make some fried pork chops today. It's not something I do very often because if you know me, you know I hate to clean up the mess from frying foods. And I'm not a big fan of eating a lot of fried food. Now, you can't tell it from looking at me, but I don't eat a lot of fried food. So, we're going to make fried pork chops today. And this is one of the meals my mother would make when I was a kid growing up that I absolutely loved to eat. I loved fried pork chops. And I'm very particular about the fried pork chops that I use. So I get an assorted pack of bone-in pork chops. They have to have the bone in them. And I just think a bone-in pork chop tastes so much better. That opened. And I'm going to put, let's see. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Put 1 teaspoon of Tonys, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and you know you got your food seasoned when you're choking on it. We're going to put half a teaspoon of garlic. The reason I'm not putting more than that in, because garlic powder and onion powder, ooh, that was more than what I needed, will burn. And we're frying food. So we don't want to burn seasoning onto our food. We want it to taste good, not taste. And then I'm going to use about a teaspoon of paprika as well. Now we're going to put 2 eggs into the bowl. That is one tough egg right there. And I'm going to put about half a cup of buttermilk in here. I just like it. I think it tenderizes the meat. So I'm mixing all of this together. And this is going to bind our flour onto the pork chops. But it's also going to be like a marinade. So I'm going to get them all this mixed together really well. So this is about a 1/2 inch thick pork chop. It's got the little line of fat around it, which to me is the best part of the pork chop. And you're gonna dip it all in the egg mixture and get it coated really well on both sides. And then slide that out of your way. And then we're gonna put the lid on it and set it in the refrigerator for about an hour and let it marinate. Okay, so we've got our pork chops. They've been marinating for about an hour, and I'm ready to dredge them in some flour. I took 1½ cups of White Lily all-purpose flour, and this is all-purpose, not self-rising, and I've added half a teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of onion powder. Again, those 2 seasonings will burn very easily, so you don't want to put too much in here. You don't want that making a weird taste in your flour batter. And then I put 1 teaspoon of Tonys Creole seasoning, a teaspoon of seasoned salt, and a teaspoon of paprika. And that's what I'm putting in my flour. And then I'm just taking a whisk and mixing that all together. Kind of make sure those seasonings are all mixed in. We're going to take our pork chops and dredge them in the flour mixture now. I like using a shallow bowl like this because then it's just easier to work with. My mother gave me her bowl set like this and her canisters a few years back, and I love using them. They're antiques. They're very old McCoy line of ceramic ware, or ceramic ware, I believe. And I just like using them. So you're going to get this good and coated, and then I'm just going to lay it down on a plate for now. And you're not trying to make a huge thick coating on this. You just want to lightly coat it. Make sure you get the edges too, because that's going to fry it really nice. And I'm going to do this twice. So I'm going to take these and let them sit for about 20 minutes before I'm ready to fry. And right before I go to fry them, I'll run them through this again, because that will just help them fry up nicer. Just make sure you get that coating on there really well. You don't want to have spots that are bare. So all right, we're back. It's time to get these floured up one more time. And let that grip into the pork chop. I'm going to put these over here. Set that one over there. Let's get these floured up and into the oil. Come over here. And let's see if you can see. Let's turn the light on up here. And let me see. I don't think I've got that way you can see it. But you see when you drop it in, it starts to fry. That's what you want. You want that sizzle. And I'm just going to get mine just a little bit hotter, I think. That was on medium. And it's been heating up for about 10 minutes. And we don't want the grease to, we don't want the pork chops to sit in the grease. We want them to fry. So that's why I'm like, let's make sure it's good and hot. And I'm going to cook them for about 5 minutes on one side and 3 to 4 minutes on the other. Oh yeah, that's good and hot there. That's what we want. And you don't want to fool with them. Leave them alone. Just let them fry. As you can see, I'm only frying 2 at the time. These are pretty big pork chops. And you don't want to crowd your pan. If you crowd your pan, they're going to be greasy. They won't be crispy. They will not cook all the way through. Sometimes you'll have your pork chops not cooked thoroughly. Okay, y'all. Let's see if I can get you down here where you can see this. Get right there. You can see how golden they are. They're not greasy. They're very well cooked. Got them to an internal temperature of 160. And I've got another chop in here cooking now. And it was too big to add another one to the pan, so I'm letting it cook by itself. So once your chops are done, don't put them on a paper towel. That tends to pull the breading off. Put them on a cake stand. If you have one like this is for cookies, but whatever you have that's metal that can drain onto a paper towel underneath it, but it doesn't. And then they stay crispy. You can keep them warm in the oven too. Have a good day.